Are. Well, welcome everybody. Today, you and I have the pleasure of getting to know Kelie Cichocski a little bit better. She supports women in ways that help life feel more steady and manageable. She's an award-winning author, transformation expert, certified hypnotherapist, and a spiritual healer who helps people release limiting patterns and reconnect with their deeper purpose. With a background in law enforcement and training in transform hypnosis and quantum healing, she brings a grounded, compassionate approach to subconscious and energetic healing. And she's the author of To the Beach, Cut Ties and Run. So, Kelie, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. We were chatting it up at the beginning. I don't think we're gonna, we'll just probably go down the rabbit hole somewhere along the way here today.
I'm
And I'm
sure we
very
will.
excited about it.
Thank you so much for having me, Sally. I was so excited to meet you when we made contact, a couple of months ago, and I'm excited to work with you moving forward. So thank you for having me on your podcast and this
Oh,
opportunity.
my pleasure, my pleasure. So let's just go ahead and dive in because I know people are going to want to know about you because guys, when I spoke with Kelie, she really has some skills that I have been looking at for a long time. So, my first question for you is that, in the audience, we have a lot of strong, capable women who know intellectually that something in their life isn't working, but they can't seem to change that pattern that keeps bringing them back to the same thing. So, why isn't awareness alone always enough?
Awareness alone is the nudge, the intuitive nudge that you're waiting for, that you don't know you're waiting for. So when you become aware, and it's so funny that you asked that question because just this morning I did a video on awareness. So I'll just expand on that. So many of us, like I was in corporate America for 20 years. I was in law enforcement for 16. I
Mm,
worked in racetracks, bars, restaurants, and all different kinds of scenarios and all different kinds of people. And I know some people that are highly aware of themselves, but they're clueless as far as what I work with, which I'm going to loosely call it spirituality because it's not all spirituality. It is learning how to manage your mind, your conscious mind, and your subconscious mind. It is learning how to service them in the best way possible to help you release the burdens you're carrying that you may or may not be aware of and move forward after that release. So, yes, you can release emotions and trapped things and energy and all that kind of stuff, but if you don't fill it with light and know how to move forward with it, you're not really accomplishing a whole lot. You're there, but you're not moving. So that would be the stuck scenario that a lot of people find themselves in. Um,
yeah.
they find themselves going. They're seeking. They're looking at books. They're listening to podcasts. They're taking courses. They may be seeing different types of healers or psychics or whatever it is that appeals to them or my brain just stopped. That resonates with them. I wanted to say resolves with them, but that's not the right word. That resonates with them. So as they pick up these breadcrumbs, their intuition is going, yes, they're listening to us. Yes, this is working. And then you'll start to notice, which is that awareness you speak of. Then they'll be like, maybe I should go to this event, or oh, maybe I should talk to that person. But a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm too busy. I don't want to spend the money. I don't have time. There's always an excuse.
Yeah.
So the awareness is washed out by the excuses. So once you take that first little step, the universe kicks in and it backs you. Think about it as a bridge over a canyon that you can't see, and it only appears as you take a step. So for each step, that bridge is appearing in front of you. So it does
So
it,
scary.
it is scary because it involves a great deal of trust in the unknown. And it's really funny because we're not aware of this because intelligent people, I don't care what your intelligence level is or what type of intelligence you have. It's a concept that's just far-fetched, and it's like, yeah, that's not anything that's going to work for me.
Mm,
But I
yeah,
actually just completed a little course online, and that was one of the chapters is, following the bridge. So, like I said, imagine yourself taking a step, and each step the bridge appears. So it does require that trust, and
yeah,
it requires that leap of faith. You've
yeah. I was
seen,
just thinking leap of faith.
yeah,
That's the scary part.
it's a very scary part. So when you get this inner peace that I love to coach people to find, it allows you to have that trust where there is no fear. So you're not afraid to take that, because you think about what's like, think of somebody who's corporate job and going to go into work for themselves. That's the biggest thing I encounter with people. It's
Right.
scary because you're like, I won't have a paycheck. I won't have insurance coverage. I won't have this. I won't have that. Okay, but you might have money in the bank. You might have the framework for what healing work you want to do to help people in place, but you're just afraid to take that next step. So, what's the worst thing that could happen? So, that's what I make people answer. What's the worst thing that could happen? So, you quit your job. Okay. If you were thinking about quitting, there's a reason. You didn't just quit
Hmm.
a job you absolutely loved and you're passionate about because you wanted to start something else. Because if you were so passionate about it, you'd want to stay. So if you
Yeah.
leave it, what's the harm? If it doesn't work out, go get another job. You have that opportunity. There's millions of jobs available, or make your own, which is what a large majority of people are doing now, whether it's in coaching, whether it's in, online sales. I have a friend who makes spell jars with intentions and she sells them, and that's what she
Right.
does. She supports her 6 kids as a single mom doing that. So you might laugh
Yeah.
at it and say, "Oh, it's kind of out there," but she's okay with it. It's
It's
work.
working for her.
Yeah, so
So
you
don't
have
be
to open
afraid
them
to
up.
try something if it makes you happy, if it kind of lights your flame a little bit, just give it a go.
Yes.
And like you said, I mean, you don't even have to quit your job for a lot of these
No,
experiments.
no.
Um, and I'm also thinking of people, and not necessarily who are considering breaking 100% away from a job, like cutting here. But what if you wake up and you just feel like off? It's not like I hate something. I just am not excited about anything anymore. What
The whole
kind of
purpose.
advice? Yeah,
Well, the whole
the
purpose of
doldrums.
you
Is that what you
living,
called it?
yeah, yeah, the whole purpose of you living this life. So I want you to look at this in a big picture. And it may sound unconventional, but just go with me. You have a soul, but you
Yeah.
think you have a soul, but you truly are a soul. So there's a
Right.
little difference in the way you articulate that. So you are a soul having a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
So this human experience is something that in the grand scheme of things is a little blip in time. And it's just this short thing compared to your soul's existence, which is forever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're here in this meat suit, as we call it, as a human, and you're unhappy, you're not fulfilling your life's destiny, your life's purpose. So
Yeah.
the whole thing, if you listen to all of the great leaders and all of the futurists, they say, do what brings you joy. So if you're doing anything that doesn't bring you joy, you're wasting your time. Might say, I have to do it. Okay, so
Yeah.
do it in the best way that you can and allow yourself to move forward. So it kind of goes along with give me one more second. It kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
goes along with the whole universal law. So we live as souls under universal law, which is
Yeah.
there's gravity, and then there's the law of flow. There's all the other things that you hear about manifestation and such.
Yeah.
So you are obligated to fulfill your life's purpose. We don't always know what that is, and some of us discover it throughout our journey. But if you don't know, that's what these nudges and this unhappiness is. Those are signals that you need to look in another direction, that you're not happy in the path you're taking, and you need to
Mm.
readjust your journey and find what brings you joy. And if it's something as simple as volunteering at the animal shelter, then do that and see where it leads you, because you might meet a person, get a new job, start a whole new life, whatever, but those nudges are going to lead you to what will bring you joy.
I am so glad you said that because a lot of people say, well, nothing makes me happy. I just want to sit on the sofa and watch TV or play video games or whatever it is they want to do. But something like, I mean, if walking, going for a walk, if sitting in the sun, if getting out and just looking at the birds or going to like you said, the animal shelter and helping out with that, if that makes you happy, that's worth at least doing as a volunteer situation. So I,
Absolutely.
I really am glad that you brought that into the picture because we so often know, I mean, a lot of us, it's kind of like the warm water. We're kind of like, it's not cold and it's not hot. It's just kind of tepid and life is tepid, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
we are here. You said something else that reminded me of um, you know, the spark of the divine is in us, and we
Yes.
are here so that the divine gets to experience life,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So if we're not, because energy doesn't have a body to make things really, that you can play with and do things with.
Yep.
And so that's our responsibility.
Yep.
So if anybody needs this nudge, it's your responsibility to have a good time in this life, right?
Exactly. And like one thing I always tell people is be present because the universe will bring you joy if you acknowledge it. So,
Mm,
present to me is when I went for a walk this morning, there were these two butterflies that flew out of the bushes, flew around my face and my head, and kind of followed me a little bit down the block. And I saw them, I acknowledged them. I said, "Boy, aren't you beautiful? Thank you for joining me on my walk," because that's the kind of thing that helps open your heart and gets rid of that ick. That I'm miserable, I'm unhappy.
mhm.
You can't smile and be mad. It's not possible. It's
Yeah,
not physically possible.
yeah.
You might want to hum. Some people hum, and it's funny because our grandmothers all used to hum as they were working, our mothers, and nobody does it anymore. It's like it went to the wayside because technology moved into its place. So we aren't creative in our own minds anymore. So we need to go back to the basics and think about I'm right here in this present moment. What's so great about this moment? Well, I'm having a lovely conversation with somebody who's like minded, and we're going to share this message with a lot of amazing people. I have a beautiful picture, because I look at a white wall in my office. I have this beautiful
Yeah.
picture of this Hawaiian palm tree and some frangipanis and a little wave and a little sun. And it's just pretty. It brings me joy because it's colorful. And I just look at that and I smile. Simple things. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you are depressed, go stand in the grass with your shoes off for 15 minutes. I promise it will improve your situation. Or in the sand, or stand in the ocean or the lake. Stand in nature with your bare feet. If you're
Yeah.
really daring, lay in the grass. Lay on your back, look at the beautiful sky. You cannot be depressed and do that. It's physically impossible because you're looking at this miracle where we are. We
Yeah.
get depressed, distracted, frustrated, and mad because we get in a hurry and we get swept up in life, technology, duties, business, all this other stuff. When you go back to basics and go right into your heart and say, wow, isn't that flower gorgeous? And you start noticing, you'll see it more often, and it's impossible to be sad or mad or whatever because you're seeing that beauty.
And because you're happier, people around you are happier because smiles are contagious. They
Absolutely. They're a
really
ripple
are.
effect. And
They
your mood
totally.
is a ripple effect.
And I mean, in the dental office, we had in the front desk, I wasn't at the front, but in the front, they would have mirrors in front of the stations of the people who were on the phones
Oh,
so that
yeah.
they would look at themselves and smile while they were talking on the phone.
What a great idea.
And just having a smile in your voice
Yes.
changes the way somebody responds. I mean, we've
Oh,
all walked
yes.
into a store when the person who's supposed to be helping us is gruff or in a hurry or kind of like dismissive.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that feel, right?
Yeah.
It kind of I have to go, okay, don't get your back all, your panties in a twist, Sally. Just relax. It's all about them.
Yeah.
And when I relax around that, it's really interesting to see how they kind of go, oh, okay, she's not out to get me. She
Yes,
just
yes,
wants an answer to a
huge.
question, right?
Yes.
So
And the
thank
other
you for
thing
that
is,
one. Yeah.
yeah, your energy is contagious. So I love to share this little tip with people because I live in South Florida and we have a horrendous traffic problem down here.
Okay.
Now, you're going to find yourself at some point in your day where you need to get somewhere and the guy in front of you does not. So he's taking his time. This
Right.
may be a 1 or 2 lane road, but he's just in front of you doing his thing.
Five
And
miles under the speed limit.
exactly, exactly, in the left lane. So what you do is what we tend to do is we don't like tailgate dangerously, but we get close to them, kind of like we're trying to push them. But I want to present you with this experiment, and I've never had it not work for anybody I've shared this with. So I want to share it. So if you're finding yourself in that kind of a situation, or even if you're walking or whatever, and this person isn't moving, step back. And that sounds really opposite, but pull
Mm,
your energy away because your energy is kind of anxious. So if you're pushing that
yeah.
anxious onto them, you're going to make them anxious. So you pull your energy back and back your car off and slow down. And I guarantee it, within 10 to 15 seconds, they will either turn, pull over, or get out of the lane in front of you and allow you to pass. Never, ever,
Wow.
ever fails. But you've
Ooh.
got to be willing to it's very hard because we're like, I'm in a hurry, I don't have 3 seconds to back off. 3 seconds, really, come on. So
Yeah. Yeah.
try that. It also works if you walk into a room where there's a tension and there's an argument, and if
Yeah.
you walk in a good mood and you stand within 3 feet of that person, don't acknowledge them, don't interact with them, just stand like with
Yeah.
your back to them and allow your nice energy to infiltrate them. You'll notice the whole argument will dissolve. They'll either leave or they'll change their perspective, and it's works because that's how energy works.
That is a challenge.
Yes, and
You're
it's
throwing it down.
I promise, and it always works. There is a philosophical theory called the noosphere. I just learned about it. It's from a philosopher of ancient France, probably going back to the 1500s. I'm not sure, but he talks about every bit of improvement you do on yourself is a ripple effect for the whole of consciousness. We're
Yeah.
all one, we're all connected because we're all divine spark. So if I bring my vibration up, if I make myself happy, if I make myself, more content, more joyful, it's going to have a ripple effect and it's going to carry on through the entire consciousness. It may not work instantly, but it's going to elevate the consciousness level of everybody. And if everybody did
Yes.
that, what amazing turnabout we'd have.
And this is something that I heard, and I honestly, I'm going to throw it out and somebody can fact check it for me. It takes only 3% of the population to raise that happy
Yep.
vibe
Yep.
to change the whole world.
That's very true. And there's people that measure that. I am not one of them because I know how to do things. I don't know why I know how to do them. I just know how to do them. So that's my forte. But there
Yeah.
are people that measure the Schumann resonance, the energetic fields and the grids and all that stuff. And that, like I said, that's way above
And
my
when
pay
people
grade.
meditate,
Yep.
crime goes down and yeah.
Meditation brings it. Yes. And there was I remember hearing about it, but there was a group of people about, probably 6 or 7 years ago that had a thing at 9 p.m. Eastern every day. They all paused and said a prayer. And it was to
Mm.
support somebody, something, I don't know what it was, but my neighbors did it. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she's like, my alarm went off. Give me 5 minutes. And she had her little prayer. And she said, "We're trying to elevate the consciousness in a situation." I can't remember what it
Yeah,
was.
whatever the
But
situation.
people all over the world participated in it and it did it.
Wow.
So it can't
Yeah.
hurt. It can never
No,
hurt.
right. And it makes you feel better, right? I
It
mean,
certainly does.
so there you
Yes.
go. It's done
Yeah.
it. I mean, in my opinion, that would do its job. But
Yeah.
we're going down these rabbit holes, and I want people to know a little bit more about you because we could sit here and go, yay, yay, rah, rah. And I know everybody listening is going, sure, yeah, yes. And if you have stories, go ahead and put them in the chat, at the when I post this. But I do want you to just kind of tell me a little bit about what you do. like your rise. Tell me what rise means because it's
Okay.
transform and rise.
Yes. So RISE is my framework for everything I do, teach, and live. It's called release, illuminate, shift, and elevate.
Okay.
The words always mean the same, but release looks different depending on the circumstance I'm applying it. So if I am working with you in Transform Hypnosis, which is my own creation, I was working in hypnosis, healing myself because I have a
Yeah.
lot of back trauma, which is the book you mentioned. It's called To the Beach, Cut Ties and Run. It's my life story. And it talks about the challenges I had from childhood all the way into my adulthood. And it's I had bullying, I had domestic violence, I had addiction, I had a lot of stuff going on, and I had no idea how to heal myself until I was probably close to 40. And I had been doing various things, but hypnosis was the one modality that really gave me that kick in the pants, that really gave me a difference that I could measure. And
Yeah.
I learned how to connect souls, dead and alive, with the person in the session so that they could communicate on a soul level. So you might not be speaking to your grandmother, but your souls will still communicate. So you can
Yeah.
convey messages to and from each other. And that way, next week, grandma's not going to be mad anymore and she's going to give you a call. That's how this works because you're working with that energy. So,
Right.
Transform Hypnosis is a very intensive 4 to 5 hour session. It is a 2 hour interview. And then I go into a 2 to 3 hour hypnosis session and I base my questions because good hypnosis is about asking the right questions. I don't do anything except ask the right questions. You do all of the work. You do all of the
Yeah.
accessing of information. I facilitate that. So that's how
Yeah.
hypnosis works. I don't control you. I don't make you do anything you don't want to do. You speak openly, and if you're not comfortable, you tell me and we move on. So it's not a forced thing, which scares a lot of people because they see stage hypnosis and the guy quacking like a duck. It's
Oh,
nothing,
that's just not.
nothing like
Yeah.
that. But what it does is it allows you to access those hidden energy cysts from your childhood where you had this happen or that happen. It helps you access those past life situations that carried over into this life. Like I'll share one really quickly. My wrists, my right wrist is larger than my left wrist just by nature, about a half an inch. Never had any reason for it to be that way, but it's always hurt and had soreness to it. In
Hmm.
my session, I learned that it's been stabbed with a knife, shot with a gun, and shot with an arrow in 3 different lives. Like I was protecting myself, so it took the brunt of the
Um,
attack. And they told me, meaning my subconscious told me, that's why we made you left-handed in this lifetime. And how crazy is that? And I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, they actually know I'm left-handed and they made me left-handed because, and it's funny because I'm kind of
Oh,
ambidextrous. I can use both hands for, like when I was a
interesting.
cop, I could shoot with both hands, but this wrist gets sore easily. So we've been working on pulling all the energy from those injuries out of it. And it's
Right.
finally worked. It took us about 10 years, but we
Yeah.
worked on
See,
it.
that's, yeah.
Yeah, it,
It takes time.
it
It took
definitely
a
does.
long, long time to get that way.
It did because it took 3 lifetimes. But see, that's what we are, this instant gratification society, and
Yeah.
Amazon has just spoiled us even more. Although I love my Amazon, but we can't take a pill and fix it. All the pill does
Yeah.
is mask the symptom. It
And
doesn't
that,
get
yeah.
to the root cause, which doesn't fix the problem.
It
So
has its place,
exactly,
until
absolutely.
you can find out and get down and really fix the problem. Yeah.
Exactly. And this 1 day hypnosis session gets you to the root of these problems that you may or may not know you have. So I'm trained in a special interview technique that allows me to pull stuff out of you that you're not aware of in
Yeah.
in ways that I can say, did it ever occur to you that this accident where you were smashed in the face with a softball that gave you a concussion is something that's still with you? And the person's usually like, no. And I'm like, well, I think it is. So we're going to talk about that and we'll work on that. So, that's kind of how it happens. It's
Yeah.
quite magical. It's a lot of intuition. I'm guided beautifully through these sessions, but
Yeah.
I am guided to ask the right questions to get them what they need to get that layer of healing, because healing is done in layers like an onion. So it is
Totally.
important to start at the bottom or, at the outside layer and work your way in because there's probably there's always a reason why you can't heal just like that. You have to work your way in because you didn't get injured in layers. Again, it took lifetimes. So, and then there's a lot of current life stuff that some people are dealing with. So we might not do a past life regression. We might do a current life regression where you go back to your birth or your childhood or an incident in your life because you're not sure what happened, relive it and understand it without it scaring or hurting you. It allows you to see it like an observer. So there's many ways healing can be achieved in this, but I call it speed healing for busy professionals because in one day of 4 to 5 hours, you can walk out a new person. And I'm telling you, I've had 5 or 6 of these sessions with other practitioners, and it works. And it's not about going into it saying, I need 5 sessions. I've had a lot of work and healing to do because I've got a very crazy life that I have put myself into. Not everybody has that. Everybody
Yeah.
is different and everybody has done some level of healing, whether they're aware of it or not. So one session might be all they need for this lifetime. So that's
Yeah.
why I call it speed healing because people are always, that's a long time. I'm like, no, but you could do 6 1-hour sessions with me. That's 6 different days you have to come and, make arrangements, or you
Right.
could do
Or
it
you
all
can
in one
just,
day. So get it over with. Why not
yeah.
get it over with? Because it's like us. We got together and we can't stop talking because we're excited about sharing. That's
Yeah.
exactly how the session goes. We get
Yeah.
together, we start talking, and then we're connecting. And before you know it, I had one session that was 10 hours long.
Oh my.
But the lady was very, she just needed to tell her story, and I was very excited to listen. And that is a lot of help for a lot of people, just having someone willing to hear
Somebody
them
to,
without any kind of fears or, you are
yes.
safe in our container. You can say anything you need to say here. So
Yeah.
that's a
And
big
and
part.
and that's what I found when you said it, the safe container allows our bodies to speak up. That's what I
Absolutely.
find is, it's like, okay, things that we had not been paying attention to because it didn't feel safe to pay attention. When
Yeah.
you're given a safe place to visit that, it's just transformative. But that is really cool. And if I can say, not that this is what you do, but a lot of people may have heard, is it QHHT?
Yes. And I do
And
QHHT as well.
but
This
that is
is,
not what you're talking about. And I know that's like part of your process when you
yes,
do. So I just wanted people to know that that kind of with Dolores Cannon, Kelie has that kind of training as well. So
yes.
if you know anything about that, you may find her personalized blend to be even more supportive than the QHHT sessions.
It is because the biggest problem with QHHT is they require you do it in person. So you can't do it virtually. And
Oh,
they
and
are
you
very
can.
rigid. No, so they're very rigid with the script that you follow. So it is a scripted event. So my work, it has some of their basis in there, but it is
Yeah.
also quantum healing. It's also intuition, and it's
Yeah.
my own recreation. So I don't have a script I read for you with Transform. I kind of get what I'm going to say to you as we're together. It's all
Yeah.
into, so it's
Yeah. Yeah.
unscripted, I guess you'll say.
Yeah. That's what me and RTT, I kind of do the same.
Yeah, and
So,
it can be done virtually. So that was the
which
biggest
is
thing is I can do it
awesome.
virtually, which is huge because I can reach more people that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can say, hey, it's lunchtime and I'll be back in an hour. So, one more question as we're wrapping up. So, if you had one small thing that somebody listening today could do to begin recognizing where their patterns are in their life and what a nice next best step might be for them, what would you suggest?
Breathe. I know that sounds very rudimentary, but breathe. Sit down and breathe deep because 99.9% of us don't breathe deep. And that I'm included in that. I find myself
Hmm.
shallow breathing, but in order to so this is how I was taught, like you have frequency and energy. So your frequency, your energy, your connection to the divine. If you sit and close your eyes and take deep breaths, hold them for a couple seconds and let them out. it takes your aura from here to here in width. So it expands your energy, your awareness, your consciousness, however you want to talk about it, and it
Yeah.
gives you a stronger and deeper connection to your higher self, your angels, your guides, God, again, whatever you want to use as terminology, because
Right.
they're all the same. It's all higher dimensional help. And that connection and allowing yourself to sit quietly and close your eyes, and I'll call the M word, meditation. A lot of people hate it, but allow yourself to embrace it. Don't force yourself. Close your eyes and sit quietly for 3 minutes and breathe deep and see what happens. That's all you've
Three
got to do.
minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it. Set a timer. That's what
yeah,
I find so helpful because otherwise I'm like, oh my God, is it, when, but 3 minute timer is like
yeah. Make it
beautiful.
manageable for you. And if 3 minutes is too long, but see, here's the thing. When you close your eyes and shut out the world, your brain is like racing and, oh my God, I got to do this and this and that. So think about it like this. When you turn off the car, your car is going to have fluid running through the hoses, and all of that stuff has to come to a stop. So back in the old days, in the 70s, some of those cars would go ka-clunk, ka-clunk, ka-clunk
Yeah.
before they turned off. Okay, they don't do that anymore. But the car is still kind of winding down from
Yeah.
being on the road to being
Yeah.
parked. So you have fluid levels going down, temperatures are decreasing, the whole thing. Think of your
Mm,
brain like that car. So you need to
mm,
give that brain 3 minutes to just slow down and just say, oh, we're in relax mode. 5 minutes is
mm.
better. 7 minutes is optimal. But if we'll take what we can get at this point, anything we
Right.
can help you do to start. And if it's 10 seconds, then God bless you, do 10 seconds. Because any effort is going to help you, no matter how small. Nothing is inconsequential.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so well said. Nothing is inconsequential.
No,
Everything we do matters.
absolutely. Absolutely. And the more
Beautiful.
good things we do, the better we feel. Because think about this too. If you're going in the store and there's an elderly person behind you, doesn't it feel nice to hold the door and
Yeah.
see the shock on their face because nobody holds doors for them anymore and see them go, "Thank you," as
Yeah.
opposed to rushing in and walking past them and letting them feel inconsequential? Doesn't it feel better to be
Yeah.
kind?
Yeah.
I think it does. So I
Uh,
make an effort to be kind because I want to feel that energy, that beautiful, good feeling that you get from that kind of
it's
thing.
as good, it feels as good to receive as to give. And sometimes for some of us, it feels better to give.
I
But
love to
don't
give.
give from an empty, yeah, no empty vessel giving here. We don't
Yep.
allow that.
Nope. Nope. We have to reform that. But
Oh
no,
my God,
that's
Kelly, I gotta have you back.
I would love to. Thank you. We connected immediately when we met, and I immediately liked you, and I love your energy, and I love your message, and I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I
Oh,
would love to be back and talk to you
yeah.
again.
So excited to have you. And guys, Kelly has given us a super gift. I'm going to put it in the show notes at the bottom. So look for her resource there, and I'll have all her contact info there. So I know you guys are going to want to reach out to Kelly for some of the work that she can do. Especially, oh my God, all to me, all modalities are here for a purpose, and you just
Yes.
have to keep your ears open and keep trying the ones, and you are going to find the one that hits you just right.
Yeah.
And Kelly's may be the one that's you're looking for. So I just want to thank you again. I also want to remind our people that if you're watching this conversation, it supported you. That's why we're here. So I want you to please share these conversations with people that you think might like this, and also like this channel. So thank you very much, and knowing that your choice is your choice. So you can take what you've listened to, or throw it away, keep what you like. We're here for you. So go
I
out
love
there
that.
and have fun. Bye for now.
Thanks, Sally. Bye.
Thank you.